All right, so I seem to be all about the challenges lately. I really like challenges. I can't remember her name. Something Japan. I can't really. I don't know. I don't think I was saying it right. Anyway, she was. She had a challenge to use up mini kits. So this is a kit that I discovered amongst my things. I was thinking of using one of my old kits that I'd made, because I've got a bunch that I've made, and I may still do those, but I had this kit, and this isn't one I made. This is one I received in a swap probably 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember. It's been a long time. It has some ribbons, some pretty blue organza, and some satin. Just a little strip, and this nice eyelet. It came with a bunch of these little tags, and this is one of the coolest things about this kit is she printed up all these vintage images and included them, and they're all sort of gardening, birds and things like that. And there's that. Thinking maybe I am going to have to bust out the Tim Holtz birdcage die for this one. Actually, love the seed packet. These are one of my favorite things. These are so cool. And so I'm going to definitely be using those. Lots and lots of those. And then there's a whole package of just chipboard pieces, lots of flowers, so that'll be useful, and a bunch of colorful, beautiful buttons. Love those. Some paper clips, some metal tags. Love to alter those, I think, and some swirly clips, and some of these plates that you put. I'm sure that will go on the cover, and a little bag of bling, and then this thing of rub-ons. So that'll probably have to go on the cover. And then here's the papers, and there were like 2 sets of papers. There were some that, this is obviously K & Company, and then there was some from the At Home Basic Gray, the real glittery paper, and I just didn't really feel that it went with this paper. It just was kind of a different feel to it. So I decided to go with this, and I took the At Home out. But this is, I'm sure it's K & Company paper, probably one of their older or classic K. I don't know exactly, but this is definitely K & Company. There's some of this, it's kind of white core paper. And it's lovely. And I chose this mostly because it really fit the theme with the old-fashioned seed packets that were in the kit. So I wanted to go with something that was going to definitely work with that. And I can tell you, and there's some more of the cardstock, I can tell you I am going to be adding to this kit because I think it needs just a little more. I'm going to add this. It's some Tim Holtz cutouts, and it has butterfly wings and some crowns. So I'm going to add that to the kit because I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to use the Tim Holtz birdcage die and include that in my process. I'm also going to add a couple pieces of Carolina cover for the cover of my kit, because if this had cardstock or something to make the pages with, I don't have it anymore. And then I pulled just 6 of these envelopes. So I'm going to make it an envelope mini. And then I will probably use these stamps that I just purchased. There's a couple of sets that I purchased, and they were both, I think, TCIP Studios. But as you can see, they've got vegetables and an old truck and 100% natural and that and sweetie pie and this great rooster, a horseshoe, and then that says grow where you are planted. There's a saying there. So I'm definitely going to use that. So that's what I'm going to do. I might, either I'll punch flowers from the paper or I may have to add some flowers because there weren't any flowers in the kit. And I'll probably add more ribbon because I like ribbon. But I'll use what's here and then I might add to it. Right? So hopefully I'll get this done quick and you'll see the results soon. Thanks. Bye. Alright, so here it is. Here's the mini that I made with the kit that I recorded earlier. And it's a envelope mini. As I showed you, I pulled envelopes out of my stash and the chipboard for the covers. And I bound it with the cinch. And then I had to pull tulle out of my stash because I wanted it to have that nice full look. But I went ahead and I kind of glimmer misted the ribbon to kind of grunge it up just a little bit and then added that to the binding. And the cover has a lot going on. I covered it with the pattern paper and then I took white acrylic paint and dabbed it through those sequin hole ribbon, and then I cut out the Tim Holtz die. And this was something I added to the kit, the Tim Holtz bird cage and the little bird covered with pattern paper. And then I told you I was going to pull some grunge board out, and this is the only piece I ended up using was the little crown on the bird. And that little bling was from my stash, but that one came from the kit. And then over here I used the stamp set that I said I was going to use. I ended up using every single stamp in the set. What I did was I took the red paper and I embossed clear, and then I took Lumiere paint, this paint, which is really cool. It's basically acrylic based Pearl-Ex paint. It rocks. And it's sometimes better to have the acrylic over the water based just because of what you're doing. Anyway, I rubbed that over the top and that gave it that great shiny aspect. And then I used a Stampin' Up! Folder to emboss that square of the green paper, and because it had a white core, those cardstocks that came with the kit, it did that. And then down below I just used some red line tape, and I just added the red line tape, and then I added some brown glitter for my stash. The Tim Holtz bird cage, what I did was I put a bunch of PVA glue, that's like Elmer's glue, on it, and then I heated it till it bubbled, and then I painted white paint over the top of it. And then I sprayed it with my homemade glimmer mist that looks like that. It's kind of a brown, but very translucent, very watered down with gold glimmer. Ooh, you can't really see it. There. I call it Filthy Rich. That's my name for it. Anyway, it's meant to grunge things up. And I sprayed some of that also on the top of the cover. This is a charm that I had in my stash that I made a while back that I thought kind of went with it. It's got some beads, and then it's got a little picture frame at the bottom. And then I used punch flowers. I used scraps from the paper collection and just punch flowers, and then there was a lot of bling in the collection, and so I use those quite a bit. And I used this punch throughout, this Martha Stewart punch throughout here. And then in order to reinforce the envelopes in the mini so that they wouldn't tear out, I took this cream colored cardstock. It's a heavy duty cardstock, club scrap, probably even 90 pound. It's pretty heavy, and it's a beautiful cardstock. And I cut it down into these little strips that folded, and then I inserted them over the envelope. And I glued it so it's glued here, and then a 1/2 inch along the spine and here, so everyone makes a pocket. And I used about half of these. So this is open so that you can, and I took the tags that came in the kit and I tea-dyed them. And then I just stamped them and colored them, some of them. In each envelope there are large 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch tags. And they're fairly plain because I ran out of paper from the kit. In fact, these came from my stash because I had run out of paper. All I had for that was enough to punch out these flowers, and then I just glued buttons from the kit on there to kind of just give them a little extra something. So then over here is one of those fabulous ads, a little punch flower with some bling, and this is some Recollections bling that I had in my stash. And then a strip of the paper, a punch flower, and I also tea-dyed the string that came on those tags, and I used that in a few places here. So over here, this is ribbon from the stash, or from the kit, and then I stamped that from that stamp set and colored it in with my Prismacolor pencils. No Gamsol, just the pencils. They do a nice job. So rich in color. And I love how the tea-dyed tags came out. I think it just added to that vintagey look of this album. Now in these, each one of these has a pocket, but that doesn't mean I only had 6 tags that came in that. And I didn't want to create more. I just figured, you might want to put a photo in there, or a journaling spot or whatever. It just leaves it open for possibilities. So that's just one of the ads. And then over here, I made this tag out of some scraps of this paper and just stamped. Look how beautiful that paper is. See the flecks in it? That's the way it comes. And I just stamped that weather vane, which I just love. And then the tomatoes I stamped and colored in with my Prismacolor pencils. And I'm not pulling out those big tags because they're all the same. They're just kind of blank. Over here I have a tag, and I just stamped the saying, "Grow where you are planted," and did a little bit with the ribbon and the string. And then there's just a grouping of bling down here on this seed tag. And then over here, just some organza ribbon that came with the kit, and then the corn that I colored in with my Prismacolors. Everything, by the way, was distressed with Tim Holtz tea dye in this particular one. That's what gave me the inspiration to actually tea dye the tags. I was doing the tea dye on the edges, and I thought, oh, I want to tea dye the tags. And you know what? It really does look like tea dye. Anyway, so this one just has the truck on it, and then a bow from the ribbon. And then this I pulled from my stash. It's Battenberg lace doily, and I cut it in half and added one of the buttons from the collection, from the kit, and then made a little bow out of that tea-dyed string, and just some bling on that ad. And here is the carrot. I wanted it to really have that country fair, late summer garden feel to it. This one has the Vidalia onion ad that I colored in with my Prismacolors, and the zucchini packet that I colored. And then here is just some ribbon again with the swan tail. And this is some ribbon from my stash. I had to raid my stash. There wasn't enough ribbon. I use a lot of ribbon. And then cabbage. And then over here, I just glued this down because it's cool. I just glued it down. And you can add a picture here or something. And then the back is just pattern paper. So, just like that. So, I like it. It came out cool. I mean, the paper was older paper. The kit was from probably at least 2 or 3 years ago, and then when you add to the fact that the paper was, I think, a little older when I got it. This was, probably 5 or 6 year old paper, but it came out really cute, I think, for, using mostly what came in the kit. I did have to supplement a few things, but for the most part, this is what came in the kit, and I'm glad that the kit is used up. I mean, there's no paper left. There's about half the bling's gone, about half the buttons are gone. I didn't use any of the metal stuff or the chipboard. But I don't like my albums to gape a lot. I mean, this is nice. It basically is flat. I mean, it wants to gape a little bit, but not much. So, yeah. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and have a nice day.